Hey, mamas. Welcome back to another awesome episode of the Mama Work It podcast. I am your host, Marissa Lonick, working mama of 4 kiddos and founder of Mama Work It, where we support women in the juggle of mom life, work life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So excited you're here as always. We're talking real practical shit today. We're talking about one of the most, I think, persistent challenges in working mom life, in mom life in general, I think. And that is, drum roll please, dinner. Not just making dinner, but figuring out what to make, when to shop, how to prep, how to feed everyone something reasonably healthy when you are maybe not your best self at the end of the day. You're probably tired, maybe cranky, and like the last thing you want to do perhaps is anything and everything that has to do with dinner. So if you have ever had that 5 o'clock moment where you think, wait a minute, what are we eating tonight? You are definitely not alone. I hear this a lot. Between work, activities, commuting, everything else on our working mom plates, dinner can often feel like one of the biggest stressors of the day. And if you have picky eaters in your home, which we've got some of those too, it can be even more triggering. So today I'm sharing working mom dinner hacks that are going to hopefully make weeknights easier, healthier, and far less chaotic than maybe they've been for you in this season. These are going to be practical strategies. I've used so many of these in my own life. They really help take the pressure off while still getting real food on the table. The goal here is not perfection. It is feeding your family without losing your sanity. So let's get into it. We're talking working mom dinner. Let's go. So first, obviously, I just want to normalize the fact, and I said this already, but like it is hard. Dinner is hard. Okay. And I say this because I think my kids have made me more of a morning person. That's when I have more energy. Toward the end of the day, I start to like get tired. I start to get crabby. I start to get annoyed more easily. And it's because I think I've exhausted so much of my energy throughout the day with being a parent, with going to work, with all the other things that the hats I'm wearing as a busy mom. And so it can be hard just based on where it lands in the day. It can be hard because we are wearing so many hats. We've got work hat with like deadlines and just stuff going on at work. We've got kids' activities. We've got homework. Household logistics, just keeping things in order, our own exhaustion, just that time of day rolls around. Maybe you're tired like me. And the decision fatigue alone with like what to make for dinner is real. I talked about decision fatigue a few weeks ago on the show, and I'll mention it here again. It's just another one of the decisions we have to make, or we often feel we need to make as a mom, is what's for dinner. And then there's also like all this other pressure that we tend to add to ourselves when it comes to dinner. Is it healthy enough? Is it homemade? Is there enough variety in the things we're eating? Sometimes I get in this slump and we kind of eat similar things week after week after week. So is that boring for everyone? Is it boring for me? Do the kids like it? You know, my husband and I, we're kind of easier going when it comes to stuff, even if it's not our favorite meal, like we'll eat it. But the kids, on the other hand, it's like, oh no, I hear I don't like this way more than I hear I like this dinner. So do the kids like it? So just all these things, there's so much. So I focus a lot, you know me, I'm a time momager. I lean into my time management strategies. I focus a lot on systems that reduce stress when it comes to dinner. Okay, so let's walk through some of the ones that we use here in our house, or that I've worked with clients on that have helped create a much easier, stress-free dinner routine when it comes to being a working mom and getting dinner on the table. Okay. First rule of working mom dinners. And I think this goes for any mom, but especially working moms, because we've added that now to the many hats that we wear, is meal plan, but don't just meal plan around your schedule. Okay. Not the other way around. So don't plan your meals and then look at your schedule. Look at your schedule first. See which nights are crazy, which nights are less chaotic, which nights do we have soccer or basketball or cheerleading or dance or gymnastics? Which nights do I have to commute into work versus I can work from home? Which nights do we have 0 activities versus many activities, whatever it is? The busier nights should be meals that are easier to get on the table. Leftovers, freezer meals, snack dinner. I'm going to tell you more about snack dinner in a minute. Don't worry if you're like, what's snack dinner? Slow cooker meals. And we'll go through all these in a little bit more depth. But the busier nights require easier, quicker meals. The calmer nights, those are the nights you can invest a little bit more time into preparation, into cooking. One of the things that we often think when we think dinner is like we need to cook every night. You don't need to cook in quotes here, air quotes, every night in order to get dinner on the table. And you can still have homemade meals for dinner without necessarily putting tons of effort in it. It could just be kind of an assembly night versus a cooking night. Another game changer in our household here has been what I like to call batch cooking. Batch cooking. I do batching a lot in my life. I batch content for the podcast. I batch things. If you've ever listened to my holiday habits episode or taken the course, you know I love a good batch party around the holidays, specifically for like wrapping gifts. So I like batching things because I feel like it makes things less overwhelming. And future me is always very happy when I have batched something. And when it comes to dinner, future me is always happy if I have batch cooked something and put portions for a future dinner in the freezer. I do this a lot with more complicated things that I cook, but you could do it for anything you're cooking, honestly, almost anything. Most things will freeze pretty well. So let's say things like soups, chili, sauce, meatballs, chicken cutlets, casseroles, even if you're not batch cooking it, but maybe you are batch, oh my gosh, what is the word? It is escaping me right now. Oh, batch marinating, batch marinating like chicken or meat or something in a Ziploc freezer bag. And then all you have to do is like throw it in the oven or throw it on the grill. You can even batch sides. Like one Thanksgiving, I'm not even kidding, I batch cooked a bunch of sides and I froze portions of like these amazing mashed potatoes I make every Thanksgiving. And they're not just like typical mashed potatoes. They're like 2 steps elevated because they're the Thanksgiving mashed potatoes. Green bean casserole, which if you've ever made this from scratch, you know how labor intensive it is, but it is so delicious. And so I batched a portion of that. Homemade mac and cheese, another kind of labor intensive thing to make, side dish, but so delicious. And so last Thanksgiving, I took these 3 favorite yummy side dishes, made a portion for the freezer. And let me tell you, not only did it make a weeknight dinner easier to just pair it with a protein, but it was like such a comfort food to be able to have more than just on Thanksgiving, more than just once a year. So batching is great because you can cook once, you can eat twice, maybe 3 times, depending how much you cook. And future you, like I said, is going to be extremely grateful. There's this quote I've leaned into for many years, and it goes something like, do something today your future self will thank you for. That, my friend, is batch cooking. Okay. So I've got this like section of my freezer with batch cooking stuff. I've got sauces, I've got like meatballs and things I mentioned earlier. And I don't want you to fall into this bad habit that I have fallen into. And I was convicted recently because I listened to the Lazy Genius podcast. I love that show. So if you haven't tuned in, give it a listen. It's good. And something she brought up in the show was not to be a freezer hoarder. And I was like, as soon as she said it, I'm like, holy shit, that's me. I am sometimes a freezer hoarder. Like, I don't want to deplete my freezer stash. I don't want to use it unless it is absolutely necessary. And honestly, that's so dumb. Like, so dumb. So I've been working on this ever since I heard that term and felt very much seen. And I'm a work in progress, of course, but I have actually been planning on using my freezer meals more frequently on specific nights. So it's not like I just reach for a freezer meal as a cop out. It's like, no, I've planned it in my schedule in advance. I know that Thursday is going to be super chaotic. It's a freezer meal night. Sometimes, you guys, even like when I have all the time in the world on a Saturday, but I'm spent from the week. And like the last thing I want to do is cook a meal, but I want to eat something delicious. A few Saturdays ago, it was lasagna that I had in my freezer that, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like I make a damn good lasagna. Like it is all from scratch, super delicious, just amazing. I mean, it's like my favorite thing. If you ask my kids, they might tell you otherwise, but I do remind them that one day they will appreciate what this lasagna is. I promise them that. So I just popped that in the oven on a Saturday, and it was like the best comforting dinner I've had in a really long time, and it required zero effort. So yeah, don't be a freezer hoarder. Fight the urge. I'm a work in progress working on this, but like freezer meals are great, and just rotate and cycle through your stuff. All right. Another tip I want to talk about, I mentioned it earlier. It's one of like my favorite hacks for dinner here. And that is something we call in our house snack dinner, AKA what my kids call the best dinner ever. So snack dinner is basically like a charcuterie style dinner with things your kids like. It doesn't have to be all like junk, okay? But you can add like, make it a mix, right? So things you could put on like a big cutting board or just like a big tray or something. You could do some sliced veggies, some crudité. You could do some hummus or ranch or another dipping sauce. Sometimes it's even like a Chick-fil-A sauce here, honestly. I personally don't love a Chick-fil-A sauce, but these guys do. Crackers, cheese, maybe some ham or salami or turkey like rolled up, fruit, even yogurt, honestly, like individual yogurts or like, putting some yogurts in cute little cups or something. Sometimes I think even when you just change how it's served, it's more attractive to eat. Nuts, hard-boiled eggs. I mean, random stuff you want to throw on there. I don't know. Sometimes I'll like pop in some frozen spanakopita or pigs in a blanket, or even like one random lone slider left over from burger night, whatever. It's your snack dinner. It can look like you want it to look. Everything goes on this big cutting board or big tray. It looks fun. Kids love it. It takes just a few minutes to put together. And I like how they like too, that they have this agency to like pick and choose what they want from the board and put it on their plate, which normally we plate dinner for them. So like this is kind of a unique and fun and different way as well. We just have some rules when it comes to that, with regards to like, okay, you can eat that, but you also have to eat this. And we'll talk about kind of some of our hard and fast rules in a minute. But snack dinner for the win. All right. Another easy, powerful hack is having a leftover day. I usually schedule one of these on the calendar. I try to make it later in the week because I know we've cooked most likely, or we've, had different meals like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe Thursday or Friday, it's like a leftover night. So I will literally just take everything that is left over or like random fruits and vegetables, extra sides, like you name it, random stuff from the fridge, and warm it all up or put it all out there, and it is left overnight. I like this because I feel like I am not being wasteful. I'm not having to like throw food away at the end of the week, which breaks my heart. It also makes it easier for me to food shop because I'll usually try to food shop the next day. There's lots of space in the fridge. I feel like I, again, used everything that I purchased the week before. So that makes me feel really good. And I can even do like a quick fridge wipe down, quick fridge clean out with less stuff in there. I can like make it beautiful and shiny. And so, love a good left overnight. And we try to do that once a week pretty much. And sometimes if there's not like enough leftovers to account for a whole dinner, we will pair that with something really simple or easy on the side. Like, okay, you can have some of this and you can also have some cereal or whatever. Because you know what? You're still using the milk and kind of cleaning out the fridge in that way. Okay, so I told you we have like a hard and fast rule here. And so I want to tell you what that is. And that is we serve a fruit with breakfast every day. So there's always a fruit at breakfast and there's always a vegetable with dinner. Sometimes I cheat and I swap it for a fruit, but usually I try to do a vegetable with dinner. I just want you to know, I also do put fruits and veggies in lunches that I pack for school, but I'm going to be honest. Sometimes the carrots, sometimes the grapes, sometimes the sliced apples, they make their way back home. They don't always get eaten despite the rule. So at least I know I have a little more control over breakfast and dinner because we're usually eating that together. So that's it. It's just a really simple rule. The vegetable doesn't have to be like anything fancy or cooked or sauteed or roasted. Sometimes it's like raw carrots, raw cucumbers, raw peppers. Sometimes it's like, I like vegetables, so I usually have it as part of our meal, but sometimes it's like salad or roasted broccoli or cauliflower. Sometimes it's like frozen veggies that are just warmed up or like pan fried, like corn or peas or something. So the rule here is just like make it a habit. It's a rule we all follow. It's what it is. Other ideas that can help tremendously when it comes to dinner time. We have tried to implement this, and I would say we're not the best at it, but I think the kids would love it if we did more theme nights in our house, like Taco Tuesdays or Pizza Fridays. I love this because it removes decision fatigue. Everybody knows what to expect. And I think kids who know what to expect are more likely to like go with the flow and follow the rules and just not give you a hard time about what's for dinner. But again, like I said, it's been tough for us to stick to that just because I think sometimes Tuesdays are chaotic, where other times Tuesdays can account for that, or Fridays we're doing this versus that. So, if that works in your house, I love it. I've heard of people doing like meatless Mondays or gosh, I don't know, like pasta another day. I don't know. But theme nights are great because they can remove decision fatigue. Also, there is zero shame in taking shortcuts when it comes to getting dinner on the table. Like many a nights we've done like a rotisserie chicken as our protein. Super easy, right? Just warm it up in the oven if you didn't pick it up right from the supermarket. Frozen veggies, pre-cut veggies. I've done this many times. Jarred sauces. So usually I will do this more for sauces that I don't make that often, that like the recipes are not ingrained in my head and they're not easy for me. I'd have to really like focus and put effort, like a Thai peanut sauce, a tikka masala sauce. If I know I'm going to make those during the week, I'm going to have to honestly follow a recipe. It's going to be more labor intensive. So I won't do that. I'll just use a jarred sauce. I'll take a shortcut. That's okay. If I'm making more of like a regular tomato sauce, I grew up in a house where we ate tomato sauce probably multiple times per week. So I can whip that up really, really easily. And it just comes like second nature to me. But no shame in utilizing convenient options to help with dinner. Another hack, breakfast for dinner. I don't know if you guys have done this one before, but we do this probably, once every few weeks. Kids love it. It can be fast. It can be more labor intensive, depends like what you're including in your breakfast. But I also really like this one because it's good. It's a good one for later in the week if you've already utilized all your veggies in your fridge. Because I only go to the supermarket once a week. That's it. So I will often do this as like a last resort meal later in the week if I've accounted for all the vegetables in my fridge. Also, what can make this meal much easier because, it takes time to like flip pancakes over the stove or make French toast. But if you have batch cooked pancakes or French toast or something like that, then it's in your freezer and you can just microwave and warm it up. So that can simplify breakfast for dinner even more. But if you really want to simplify this, you guys, just eggs. Just make some scrambled eggs, like protein check. You want to add dairy, put some cheese on it. You want to add grain, make some toast, put it in a wrap. Eggs are such an easy protein staple. And luckily my kids love scrambled eggs. So like a 5-minute dinner is possible even on the most chaotic days, even when I've blown through much of my stuff. I didn't take something out of the freezer, like a protein out of the freezer. Eggs. And I will plan this again on super busy nights because it's an easy, quick dinner. All right. Another tip. This is one I will be totally honest with you. This is one we have not leaned into a lot lately, like the past few years, and that is the slow cooker. Okay. I don't use the slow cooker as much as I probably could. And I think that's mainly because my family doesn't love a lot of slow cooker recipes. I'm a fan of the slow cooker. I think it is like this amazing tool. Like all working moms need a slow cooker, in my opinion. But we just have like a couple recipes. And if I overdo them in the slow cooker, everyone kind of starts to hate them in this house. So we've been sporadic on our slow cooker meals in the past couple of years, even though I do love a slow cooker meal. So maybe you need to send me your best slow cooker recipes. Maybe I need to venture outside of like the 2 that we cook here. But I will give you another hack here with minimal effort, minimal cleanup is a sheet pan meal. On the other hand, I love a sheet pan meal. We have this giant sheet pan. You might not need the size we have. Ours like basically takes up the entire shelf of the oven. But I would actually tell you, go get this size anyway, even if your family's much smaller than mine, because you can batch cook, right? Super easy. Put some sausage, put some chicken, veggies, onions, whatever on the sheet pan, season it, a little olive oil in the oven, boom, one pan, done. Another hack for the sheet pan meals is line it with parchment paper. And so the cleanup just got so much easier. Okay, so sheet pan. All right, last little hack here before we start wrapping up today's episode. And that is one word. You're going to think I'm maybe a little crazy, but I think this is such an underrated component of dinner and making dinner easier. Okay, and that is rice. Rice, hear me out. Rice is such a good staple to have cooked for the week. For example, I will often use it in burritos or burrito bowls, but then I can use it another night and I can make fried rice or I can make crispy rice as a solid topper. So good. Crispy rice, being gluten-free, has like totally upped my salad game. I love me some crispy rice. What else? Rice to eat with stir fry. Done. It's already cooked. There is so much versatility for rice. It's one of those things that you can eat it twice, cook it once, in 1 week in completely different ways, right? It's very different to have like rice in a burrito bowl with fried rice, with crispy rice, with rice in another tofu broccoli stir fry dish or something like that. So rice for the win. All right, one last reminder, and then we're going to go into a quick review here, is I just want to remind you, like, dinner for us is, we try our best, as long as schedules don't conflict, we try our best to sit down together and have dinner as a family. And so I know that is something that I hope my kids are going to take away, that this is something we did almost every night. We ate dinner together as a family. They're not going to remember what was for dinner, if dinner was their favorite thing or not, if dinner was exceptionally healthy, if dinner was a cop out, like whatever you're telling yourself about the story of dinner. But they are going to remember that we ate together, that we probably had conversations during dinner, hopefully that they felt cared for and taken care of and nourished. And all of that, I think, is really what matters most. So sometimes dinner is going to be scrambled eggs. Sometimes dinner is going to be snack dinner. Sometimes dinner is going to be this amazing homemade comfort food that came from your freezer because you made extra on Thanksgiving. It's all good. It's all good. So let's recap some of these amazing working mom dinner hacks. Plan meals around your schedule, not the other way around. Batch cook freezer meals, and don't be a freezer hoarder. Use snack dinner as a really simple way to have a fun night for dinner, and a night hopefully everybody in your house likes. Do a leftover night, schedule a leftover night every week. Get some simple health rules so that it becomes a habit and no one's fighting you on like the fruits and veggies and the healthy things for dinner. Try theme nights, maybe Taco Tuesdays. Use shortcuts, guilt-free. Nothing wrong with the rotisserie chicken. Nothing wrong with, frozen chicken nuggets with some broccoli. It's all good. Make breakfast for dinner. Yes, even eggs count. Slow cooker, sheet pan meals, minimal cleanup, especially if you got the parchment paper there on the sheet pan. Rice. Utilize rice more than you think, right? You can use it twice in 1 week with 2 completely different meals. Dinner does not have to be stressful. Implement some of these systems, some of these rules. It can actually become a part of the day you look forward to because maybe it's something that feels easier to you the more you lean into some of these hacks. So if this episode helped you, if you learned something, if you got a great tip from it, please share it with another working mom who is staring into her fridge oasis at 5 p.m., wondering what the hell she's going to make for dinner tonight. Until next time, mama, keep on working it. Can't wait to see you again. Bye.